Alright, hello, guys. I am so sorry that I am running late. I appreciate you understanding. That phone broke, and I had to uninstall and reinstall Facebook, and it didn't want to cooperate with this one, so let's start fresh. Alright, welcome, and thank you for joining me on the Fear of Death. This is video 6 in the 6 Ghosts of Fear series. I am so excited that we have been on this little journey together going through the fears, and I appreciate all of you being here with me. Hi, Patricia. If you have found any value in this series or have enjoyed any of it, will you please leave an emoji or a smiley face or something in the comments so that I know that you guys found value? I would greatly appreciate it. I again want to say thank you to everyone who has liked, commented, shared, messaged me about this. Your support has been phenomenal, and I greatly appreciate it. We are going to talk about the fear of death, and this can be a very scary topic. And I know some of you, hi Cheryl, love ya, hi Chris. For some of you, this fear can be rough. So I wanted to use the book, Think and Grow Rich, in the very last chapter here. You can see I have little highlights on my notes. I wanted to use it directly to address this fear as best as I could. And it looks like I'm lagging a little bit. Hopefully it goes over okay. So we're going to get started right away. Now, the fear of death is considered the cruelest of fears. The reason being is because everybody has this fear, and this fear can cause you not to live your life. It can cause you to hold back on what you want to do because you're afraid of what might happen. Now, Napoleon Hill touches a lot on religion. This one, he felt that some religions were a little aggressive with their descriptions of what could happen at the end of our life, and he thought that maybe that played a lot in people's fears on what would happen, because for instance in some religions, if you don't act a certain way, you could end up being tortured or tormented for eternity, and he just felt that that was very cruel. But again, you have every right to believe what you believe in, and just take this at face value. Now, one of the big things that has come up lately is that through our different understandings of sciences, astrology, biology, astronomy, biology, geology, all of those, we've come to understand the environments that we're in a bit better, and there's less ghouls and ghosts around us. As our kind was younger and they saw the world, they would be afraid of the dark or afraid of different things. So as we've come along, we've learned that there is a reason behind most things that can be scientifically explained, and that kind of helped this fear become less apparent and become less of an issue. It's still rough and in all of our minds, but some of us don't fear it as much because of the understanding we have of science. Now, what we do know through physics is that everything is made up of energy and matter. In the elementary physics, we learned that neither matter nor energy can be created nor destroyed. So what that means is it can only be transformed, it can only transition into something else. And so Napoleon Hill felt that when we passed on, or our time had ended, that we didn't actually disappear, that we don't cease to exist, that our energy goes back into the pool of energy and it continues on. And something he said that I really liked is, if death is not mere change or transition, then nothing comes after death except a long, eternal, peaceful sleep. And sleep is nothing to be feared. Thus you may wipe out forever the fear of death. And I thought that was a very sweet way to describe what can happen when we pass. So the signs and symptoms of the fear of death are just like the fear of old age. They're a little different. So I'm just going to describe the habits that people might have if they currently have this fear. Now, the habit of thinking about dying instead of making the most of life, due to generally the lack of purpose, the lack of suitable occupation, or just the fear in general of your current age. And that's something that probably affects people who are older in age, because they fear that just because they have hit that certain number, that they're closer to their end. The greatest of all remedies for the fear of death is a burning desire for achievement backed by useful service to others. Now, this is something that we see, I'm trying to think of a really good example. Russell Branson is a good example. This guy is constantly doing something crazy, and people tell him he's too old for it, and it just cracks me up because he's out there climbing mountains and racing in marathons and just having a blast. Other individuals like Warren Buffett, he's still doing what he loves to do, and nothing's holding him back. A busy person seldom has time to think about dying. He finds life too thrilling to worry about death. Sometimes the fear of death is closely associated with the fears of poverty, because again, with the fear of poverty, you might fear that you won't have the funds to fund a funeral, your end-of-life costs, etc. And in other cases, the fear of death is caused by illness and the consequent breaking down of physical body resistance. So as we get older, we had talked about in old age, we begin to become more susceptible to ill health. And so that can cause us to fear what can come. And again, with the old age, as we spoke, we discussed that you can't fear things just because you're at a certain age. So you may be more susceptible to illness, but to focus on the fact that you're a certain number and that you might not be able to get through things as quickly is just going to cause you to become weaker in some aspects. So you don't want that. You want to know that your life is worth everything that it is. You have full capabilities of achieving what you want still, and you need that passion to help push you through it. Personally, I don't feel that I have the fear of death, and that's like the fear of old age. I'm young, and I'm a little wild. So I don't feel that I personally have this, but if you do have the fear of death, I would let it go. I would let it go so that you can live life to its fullest and enjoy the world around you. And I think that's probably the biggest key to helping you get through this fear, is just to appreciate where you've been, where you're going, all of that. And I know personally, even if I go tomorrow, I'd be okay with it because there's people that I've loved, there's people that I've cared about, there's people that reached out to me that said, "Hey Chelsea, you brighten my day." And that's enough for me. I think that's pretty awesome. So don't fear death. Thank you, Kimberly. And just live life to its fullest. Do your best that you can. So this is the very last video in the series of the 6 Ghosts of Fear. Again, if you guys liked these, if you had any sort of value given to you from these, I would really appreciate if you sent me like a smiley face or something in the comments below, because that would let me know that you guys enjoyed it. I love you guys so much for following me through this and supporting me, and I hope you all have a blessed and wonderful day.